Welcome everybody. The problem statement states that the program must accept an integer matrix of size r cross c as an input. Then the program must print the columns in the matrix where the integers are sorted in descending order as the output. Okay, now let's see the sample input. Here r and c represents 5 and 4. Then the matrix is being inputted. The output is 3 because if you clearly notice that in the second row, second column, and the third column and the fourth column, the elements are sorted in descending order. So the number of columns which are sorted in descending order is printed as output. Okay, now let's dive into our program. First, let's get the input for R and C, which are the rows and columns of the input matrix. Let us use the map function to get the input, which are separated by spaces. Let's use a map function. Okay, now let us declare an empty matrix. Then let's get an input for a matrix by iterating through the rows and appending the entire list into a matrix. This can be easily done by a list comprehension method also. First let's see this and then we can check how this code can be converted into list comprehension. Now let's use the normal method of inputting a matrix. Okay, in this way also we can get the matrix, or else we can use the list comprehension and make it in a single line, such as the list of the mapped of the elements is iterated in the number of row times, so we are giving in a simply in a list comprehension manner. This yields the same input as the previous one. Okay, now let's first iterate through the number of times of columns, because the inner loop that I'm going to declare consists of two loops, so that the two loops would iterate to the matrix every time. There are four columns, so there are c columns, so it should iterate c times. Now iterate through the rows and then let us iterate through the columns. Yeah, okay, now here it iterates four times and then checks for the first column, second column, third column, fourth column. Similarly, to increase the counter value, for instance, we'll declare counter as 0 and the output counting is also declared as 0. Now if the j, that is the column corresponding element index, is counted, then I'm just appending to an instant list. For that we have to declare the instant list. Oh, I have declared it in the 51th line. Then I'm appending the corresponding elements into the instant list. Now after iterating through the columns of a single matrix, then we are incrementing the counter value by 1. Okay, now the statement states that if it is in descending order, then the output should be incremented by 1. So if sorted of the instant list in reverse order is equal to the same instant list, then if that is the case, then we are incrementing the out by 1. We are incrementing the out by 1. That's all. Now let's print the output value so that we can get the output. Okay, now let's print it. Let's print out. Okay, now let's run the program. Before running to it, let's comment out the problem statement. Just a minute. Okay, let's now let's run our program. Okay, it asks for input. Let us input 4 comma 4, sorry, 4 space 4. Then the matrix 31, 73, 29, 87, 77, 44, 66, 46, and Okay. 90, 9, 10, and 44. Now last line is 3, 1, 39, and 34. The output is 2. Yeah, okay, we got the same output. Let's try another sample input. Let's run again the program. Let us type 5 space 4. Now the elements, that is 12, 100, 67, 89, 61, 88, 59, 79, 86, 35, 46, 65, 37, 30, 25, 36, 32, 25, 13, 20, 32. Yeah, the output is 3. So our program executed successfully. The whole step can also be simplified by using the Python built-in zip function. It takes the matrix as an input and it produces the reverse of a matrix so that we can easily iterate through the elements in the row. Row iteration is very much easy than compared to column. So we can also do that in that way. Thank you. Happy code.